Hello everyone, this is Mr. Steelix your girl, here with another VGC beginner guide featuring Dialga and its origin form. Dialga is a steel dragon type Pokemon that has a large pool of bulk and a respectable special attack stat, which makes for an incredibly resilient option as its great defensive typing enables both forms to be some of the best Trick Room setters while also being able to dish out some serious damage. Both forms of Dialga are nearly identical with their typing, abilities, and move pool being exactly the same, but there are some interesting differences that could make either form viable depending on how you're wanting to use it. First, let's cover the similarities between the two. Thanks to Dialga's incredible typing, it only has 2 weaknesses in ground and fighting, but has a whopping 9 resistances. Both forms also carry the same 2 abilities. Pressure, which lowers any move that hits it by 2 PP rather than 1, and the much more useful ability Telepathy. Telepathy is an ability that prevents the Pokemon from taking damage from teammates in double battles. This proves to be very useful, as you can safely use moves like Discharge, Lava Plume, and Earthquake without risk of hurting Dialga. Dialga's signature move is called Roar of Time. This is a 150 base power dragon type special attack with 5 power points. While Roar of Time is certainly a powerful move, the Pokemon will be unable to move on the next turn as it will need to recharge after using. Now, let's get into the stat breakdown and where the 2 forms of Dialga begin to really differ. Altered Form Dialga, also known as the original Dialga, has a stat pool of 680, which is split by 100 HP, 120 physical attack, 120 defense, 150 special attack, 100 special defense, and 90 speed. Origin Form Dialga is strikingly similar, but has a stat change of 20 base points going from attack to special defense. While this seems like a small change, this actually helps to min-max Dialga's stat pool and adds to its bulk without losing any of its primary damage output. But Origin Form has an even bigger buff that is not explicitly stated. Adamant Crystal is an item that Dialga must hold in order to become Origin Form. But not only does this item change its form, it also has the same effect as Adamant Orb on top of that. This means both Dragon and Steel type moves are boosted by 20% when held by Dialga. So not only does Origin Form get the 20% buff to its special defense, but it also gets a 20% buff to its Dragon and Steel stab moves. This makes attacks like Flash Cannon or Draco Meteor hit even harder when used by Origin Form Dialga versus a regular Altered Form Dialga not holding the Adamant Orb. This also leads us to the other big difference between both of the Dialga forms, as Origin Form can only hold Adamant Crystal, while Altered Form Dialga has freedom to equip any item, so there is a trade-off. Now that we've got some context on both Dialga forms, let's move on to building and using it. The first build focuses on regular Altered Form Dialga and looks for high damage output with the idea of utilizing Tailwind in order to hit an optimal speed tier. For example, this EV set is designed to outspeed Choice Scarf Jolly / Timid Landorus Therian or Incarnate that are max speed while Dialga is under Tailwind, and deal an OHKO with Ice Beam in return. Pokemon that would benefit this build include Tornadus Incarnate or Whimsicott to set Tailwind, and Garchomp or Landorus Therian in order to take advantage of Telepathy while using Earthquake. The moves selected on this build are very interchangeable, as Dialga has an extremely large move pool that lets you mix and match to complement whatever your team needs. The second build focuses on Origin Form Dialga being a Trick Room setter and enabling the team by countering opposing Tailwinds or opening the board for slower teammates. This build stays fairly simple with a 252 HP and 252 special attack EV set to take advantage of the added bulk and damage from being Origin Form. This build complements extremely well with Pokemon like Ursaluna to set Trick Room and allow Ursaluna to be able to spam Earthquake freely, and further, a partner like Sinistcha equipped with Rage Powder helps to redirect any fighting or ground type moves that would prove to be devastating for Dialga. For both builds, Terra Flying is used to beat its natural weaknesses in ground and fighting so that you can ensure Trick Room is able to get up on turn 1. But Terra Ghost is also an option to do the same thing and helps you counter Fake Out as well. Meta Pokemon that pose a serious threat to Dialga and should be considered when team building include Koraidon, Urshifu Single Strike and Rapid Strike, Ursaluna and Ursaluna Blood Moon, Landorus Therian, and Landorus Incarnate. These fighting and ground type Pokemon are all incredibly common and potent, which can deliver extremely scary damage onto Dialga if not prepped for properly. In official VGC tournaments, Dialga has not had any recent success in the Scarlet and Violet climate, with its latest appearance being an 11th place finish at the 2022 World Championship. But Origin Forme did have a Day 2 appearance in May of 2024 at the LA Regionals with a 77th place finish. In conclusion, both Dialga forms make for an amazing bulky piece with a high offensive upside that can punish your opponent either via offensive pressure or Trick Room setup. But even with all these pros, its mid-lane speed does hold it back from making a huge splash in the Scarlet and Violet VGC meta. Even though Dialga is not the best option out there, there is room to let this Pokemon play and have fun in Reg G on the right team and with the right trainer. This concludes our VGC beginner guide focused on Dialga. If there's any Pokemon you'd like to see covered next, please comment below. If you liked what you watch, feel free to drop a like, comment, or subscribe to this channel. It helps out a lot. As always, thank you for watching.